Welcome to another epic Yu-Gi-Oh deck guide. Today, we're diving into one of the most stylish, powerful, and fan-favorite archetypes in the game, none other than the Dragonmaid. Dragonmaid is a powerful lineup of dragon monsters that switch between human forms and dragon forms throughout the turn. They focus on recycling resources from the graveyard and tagging out during the battle phase to swarm the field with big dragons. These housekeepers may look sweet and innocent, but they transform into powerful dragons ready to clean up your opponent's board. With powerful fusions, this deck can hold its own against the meta. So if you're looking for a deck that controls the board with flexible plays and recurring boss monsters, Dragonmaid is the deck for you. First, let's start breaking down the monster lineup. Parlor Dragonmaid is your main setup piece for sending Dragonmaid cards to the GY. It lets you send any Dragonmaid card from deck to GY when it's normal or special summoned. Use it to dump cards like Dragonmaid Changeover or a Dragonmaid monster to combo later with Nurse or Revival. Chamber Dragonmaid is your best starter and main searcher for spells and traps. It lets you add any Dragonmaid spell/trap from your deck to your hand when summoned. You'll usually grab Dragonmaid Hospitality, Changeover, or Tidying to extend or protect your place. Kitchen Dragonmaid is your hand setup tool for Dragonmaids. It lets you add a Dragonmaid monster from your deck to your hand, then discard one Dragonmaid. Great for sending your big dragons like Ernest or Tinkhek to GY for later revival or battle phase swaps. Nurse Dragonmaid is your main combo extender. It lets you special summon a level 4 or lower Dragonmaid from your GY when summoned. Use it to revive Kitchen, Chamber, or Laundry to trigger their effects again. Laundry Dragonmaid is your mill engine and helps fill your GY fast. It lets you send the top 3 cards of your deck to the GY when summoned. Can randomly mill Changeover or Dragonmaid monsters to make Nurse or Tidying live immediately. Dragonmaid Ernest is your hand trap style extender. It lets you discard itself to special summon a level 4 or lower Dragonmaid from your hand, and she's protected from destruction while you control a fusion monster. Perfect to keep plays going even if your opponent disrupts your normal summon. Dragonmaid Yugioh is your GY control tool. It lets you discard it to shuffle a monster from either GY back to the deck, which helps disrupt GY-based strategies. Useful against Tearlaments or anything that recycles or revives from GY. Dragonmaid Tinkhek is your quick boost for combat tricks. It lets you discard it to give a Dragonmaid 2000 ATK until the end of the turn, and it also has destruction protection when you control a fusion. Perfect for pushing through damage or protecting your board. Dragonmaid Lorper is your soft effect negator. It lets you discard it to target a face-up monster, and that monster's effects can't activate on the field for the rest of the turn. Great for stopping boss monsters or floodgates without needing to destroy them. Dragonmaid Sermba is your fusion and banished zone support. It lets you discard it to special summon a Dragonmaid from your GY or banishment, and protects your fusion monsters from destruction. Super handy for recycling cards like Chamber or Ernest, and keeps your fusion monsters safe. Now, let's move on to the spells and traps. Dragonmaid Hospitality is your go-to extender for Dragonmaid plays. It lets you special summon a Dragonmaid from your hand or GY, then sends another Dragonmaid with the same attribute but a different level from your deck to the GY. Best used to trigger effects like Nurse Dragonmaid or to set up a fusion play by filling the GY with the right monsters. Dragonmaid Changeover is your main fusion spell for summoning your Dragonmaid boss monsters. It lets you fusion summon a Dragon Fusion monster using monsters from your hand or field as material, and you can bounce a Dragonmaid from field to hand to reuse the spell from GY. Great synergy with the main deck Dragonmaids and helps you recycle Chamber for another search next turn. Dragonmaid Send-Off is your defensive tag-out trick during your turn. It lets you special summon a different Dragonmaid from your hand, then returns the targeted Dragonmaid on your field to your hand. The new one is protected from battle and card effects until the end of the next turn. Perfect for dodging targeting effects or extending combos by swapping into higher-level Dragonmaids. Dragonmaid Welcome is your passive field boost and resource recovery spell. It gives all your monsters plus 100 ATK def for each Dragonmaid you control, and if you control 2 or more, you can add one Dragonmaid card except Welcome from your GY to your hand. It's a nice slow grind tool that helps recycle key cards like Hospitality or Tidying, and it also protects your monsters from targeting when sent to GY. Dragonmaid Tidying is your best interruption trap and graveyard utility in one. It lets you target one Dragonmaid you control and one card your opponent controls or in their GY, and return both to the hand. From the GY, you can banish it to special summon a Dragonmaid from your hand or GY in defense position, but it returns to hand during the end phase. Great for breaking boards, dodging targeting, and extending plays all at once. Dragonmaid Downtime is your niche utility trap that helps you play around threats. It lets you return a Dragonmaid you control to the hand, then either search a Dragonmaid card from your deck or bounce an opponent's spell trap. Can be useful in grind games or to reuse Chamber and Parlor for their effects. And last but not the least, let's move on to the extra deck. Dragonmaid Yugioh is your main boss monster in the Dragonmaid deck. It lets you negate any effect with a quick effect, then returns itself to the extra deck to special summon House Dragonmaid from your extra deck. Plus, it special summons a Dragonmaid from your GY during each standby phase. She gives you offense, defense, and board presence all in one. Great for both going first or second. House Dragonmaid is your core Dragonmaid control monster. It lets you destroy an opponent's monster once per turn when a Dragonmaid returns to your hand, and it can tag out your Dragonmaids during the standby phase by special summoning a Dragonmaid with one level higher or lower from the GY. Works best when paired with Yugioh or other Dragonmaid main deck monsters to enable flexible combos and pressure. Lady's Dragonmaid is your newest alternate boss monster that plays more for grind and recursion. It must first be special summoned by banishing one Dragonmaid fusion and one house from your field and GY. When summoned, it special summons a level 4 or lower Dragonmaid from your deck, and during each standby phase, it lets you fusion summon using banished or field materials. It's a great long game piece that recycles banished monsters and sets up more fusions. Heavenly Spheres is your best Link 2 control and disruption tool. It lets you tribute itself or another dragon to bounce a face-up card your opponent controls to the hand, then special summons any dragon from the deck when it's tribute. This is amazing for removing threats and setting up a GY Dragonmaid to revive later. Striker Dragon is your Link 1 enabler, especially if you run Rocket or other small dragons. It lets you destroy a face-up monster you control to add Rocket Recharger from your GY to your hand, then Recharger can revive a Dark Dragon. Useful for setting up the GY and cycling cards, especially in builds with Quick Launch or Rocket Engine. Romulus is your Link 2 Dragon Extender and Field Spell Searcher. It lets you add Dragon Ravine from your deck to your hand, which then lets you discard a card to send a dragon from your deck to the GY. Works great for setting up GY plays with Tidying, Parlor, or Chamber Dragonmaid. And Gardragon PSD is your Dragon Revival Link monster. It can special summon a dragon from your GY or that's been banished to a Zone 2 or more Link monsters point to. Perfect for bringing back a key Dragonmaid or boss monster to extend combos or continue pressure. The main goal of Dragonmaid is to establish strong turn 1 plays with your Dragonmaid starter cards, then tag into their level 7 or 8 forms during the battle phase for big damage. Throughout the duel, you'll keep looping your monsters from the graveyard, maintain board presence, and disrupt your opponent using fusion boss monsters. You need starting cards like Kitchen Dragonmaid and Chamber Dragonmaid to begin your plays. These cards help you send key monsters to the GY, search fusion spells, and special summon the monsters you need from hand or graveyard. You also need to set up cards in your graveyard like Dragonmaid Tidying and Dragonmaid Changeover to use their effects later. Tidying can revive Dragonmaids, while Changeover recycles itself to help you fuse again and again. However, Dragonmaid also has its weaknesses. Dragonmaid is weak against decks like Flundries, Eldlik, Labyrinth, Kashtira, and Rinnik. Control decks that limit special summoning can stop your combo flow. Decks that banish instead of sending to the graveyard also hurt, since your monsters rely a lot on GY recursion. Fast OTK decks can overwhelm you before you even get to tag out. And decks with floodgates can lock you out of switching forms mid-battle phase. Dragonmaid is also weak against cards like Nibiru, which punishes multiple summons in a turn. Summon Limit stops you from swarming. Ash Blossom and Ghost Bell both shut down your searching and reviving plays. Vanity's Fiend stops all special summons, locking your whole strategy, and Dimension Shifter can ruin your setup by banishing instead of sending to GY. To deal with these threats, you can run Called by the Grave and Crossout Designator to protect your combos from hand traps. To counter Nibiru or Vanity's Fiend, cards like Dark Ruler No More or Kaijas can help clear the way. And if you're facing floodgates and back row heavy decks, make sure to side in spell trap removal like Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twisters, or Evenly Match to keep your plays going. To end the duel, keep looping your Dragonmaid combos until you can summon all your big dragons during the battle phase. Then, go for the OTK with cards like Tinkhek or Lorper, and bring out fusion monsters like House Dragonmaid to clean up the field. Just make sure you've played around disruption. If you can avoid getting countered, you're gonna assure your flawless victory. Therefore, Dragonmaid may look cute, but it's a control-heavy deck with powerful recursion, flexible plays, and strong boss monsters. With the right combo lines and a good read of your opponent's board, this archetype can sweep both the field and the duel with ease. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.